If you're someone who is just getting into the world of guitar effects pedals, or you're already in that world and you're looking to just expand your gear collection with some affordable options, in this video we're going to talk about just that. We're going to check out 7 affordable effects pedals that you should consider adding to your rig. All of the pedals in this video are under £100 in the UK, so they're all considered fairly affordable. Now, some of these are way down at the low end of the budget, which is great, and some of them are closer to that £100 budget, but they're all very affordable things you can get your hands on easily. Now, the guitar pedal market is an incredibly diverse place. As we know, we can pick up great pedals for £30 and we can pick up great pedals for £500. There's a huge spread in the price range of different effects pedals, but there are some real great hidden gems sitting down at the lower end. This is great for newer players to the world of effects because what that means is you don't have to spend a fortune on building your rig at the start of your journey. You can build some great tones and some great pedal boards with very little outlay. But also, if you're someone who's already ingrained in the world of pedals and you just want some affordable options maybe to bash about at some gigs or rehearsals, there's some cool things in this list for you guys as well. The 7 pedals that I've chosen are all from my personal collection. These are all pedals that I have personally used for many years and done lots of gigs with. So some of them you'll even see have a bit of wear and tear to them because they have been around the block and they've been shown to be very, very dependable for my needs. This video is brought to you in partnership with musicradar.com. So if you want to find out more about these pedals, you can hit the link down below in the description, which will take you to an article that will accompany this video over on the Music Radar website. You can find out more about each one of these pedals that we talk about as well. All of the pedals, like I said, are under £100, so they're very, very easy to obtain. So as we go through this video, I'm going to be talking about each one of the pedals, what I've used it for and what I think it's great for and why I think it's worth checking out. And then I'll show you some of my favorite tones with that pedal. So gear-wise for this video, I'm going to be using my PJD Guitars St. John Standard. This is plugged into the Blackstar Studio 10 6L6 that you see at the back there. The reverb you're hearing is coming from the Surfy Industries Surfy Bear Classic, but I am going to be talking about a reverb pedal in this video as well. So when I talk about that, I'm going to be switching off the Surfy Industries reverb, and the amp is running via the 2-Notes Torpedo Captor X. So the first pedal we're going to check out on the list is the classic, the Boss SD1 Overdrive. Now this is a pedal that's been around for many, many decades. This has been used on countless pedal boards. It's pretty much a staple in the guitar world. You can pick these up in the UK for less than £50, and obviously they'll be around the same sort of price in your own local currency as well. These are pretty much an industry standard when it comes to an overdrive pedal. It's not the highest gain pedal in the world, and maybe it's not the most exciting sounding overdrive, but it does a lot of what you need it to do, which is basically just give you a good, solid overdrive tone, either into a clean amp or pushing an existing drive amp. It kind of sits in that tube screamery architecture, if that's the sort of sound you're looking for. It's not a tube screamer by default, but it kind of gives you that vibe. Now, I'm a big fan of the SD1. I think it's a very underrated drive pedal. I use this a lot, especially for recording things. I find this works great as a stacking drive. So if you're playing with another lower gain drive, this works great to just kind of complement it. And I also think this works great into a crunchy amp just to push it over the edge. Very simple, 3 knobs. What more do you need? It's really simple to dial in a tone. And speaking of, here are some of my favorite tones from the Boss SD1. The second pedal on the list is the Pelt from Fender. Now, this is a fuzz pedal. I have had a love-hate relationship with fuzz over the years, and this one kind of changed my mind on a lot of fuzz. It's very, very tweakable. So if we check out on the close-up cam, we can see we've got 4 controls and 2 toggle switches there, meaning this thing has a lot of different tonal options. So I found that this was really great for some slightly more subtle fuzz sounds, but also you could really crank it up into some more glitchy sounds. This is a little bit brighter, I find, than some of the fuzz face type circuits. I believe this is Fender's own design. I may be wrong about that, but it's a great versatile fuzz. Now, the reason I think this is great to check out is purely because of that. Some fuzzes are very one-dimensional and they have a very specific sound, but that might not work with your rig or your dream sound. Having something like this, which is very tweakable, is a great way to give yourself that introduction to the world of fuzz. So if fuzz is a sound you're curious about, I would definitely recommend checking out this pedal. The third pedal I'm going to talk to you about is the Cloud Chorus from Sonicake. This is a very, very, very affordable chorus pedal. It's in this really cool small housing, but it's built like a tank, so it's really robust. It would stand up to gigging. I've done a few gigs with this on my board and it's never let me down. The reason I like this is it's a very subtle chorus effect. You can dial in some crazier sounds as well, but you get a nice, warm, fat chorus tone with this thing. It's great just to fatten up your clean sounds, and I particularly like this on lead guitar sounds as well. So chorus is a really handy effect to have. You can kind of dial it up into some more rotary speaker or very kind of crazy sort of vibes, or you can use it very subtly. When chorus is used subtly, especially with a driven guitar tone, it can really fatten up your sound. Chorus works by basically taking the signal, copying it, and then slightly detuning it so you get this sort of slightly wider but fatter guitar tone. It's great when you're playing rock stuff because it does really give the impression almost of two guitars playing, but that's also why I like it for lead guitar work, because it really makes the notes fatten up. So this is a fantastic affordable option if you're looking to get into the world of chorus. fourth pedal I'm going to talk to you about is another industry classic. That is the MXR Phase 90. This is a phaser pedal. In the lower settings, you do get these kind of chorusy shimmers with a very sort of subtle movement. And then as you crank this thing, it just gets a bit crazier. This is the sound of 70s Van Halen. It can get you some slightly Hendrixy kind of uni-vibe type sounds as well if you dial it in right. It's a very versatile effect, even though it's only got one knob. I mean, that's all you have there is the speed knob, which controls how fast the phase effect moves. Very, very simple to dial in tones with because, like I said, there's just one knob. But this is a great one to check out. If you want a modulation pedal that you don't really have to spend too much time figuring out, Phase 90 is a great place to start. It can do a few different sounds, even though it is a phaser by trade. It can kind of take you from some subtle uni-vibey type sounds right up to some more sort of intense rotary speaker type things if you dial it in right. Works great with clean tones and driven tones. Fifth pedal I'm going to talk to you about is the NUX Horseman. Now this is a really cool pedal. These are around about the 30 or 40 pound mark in the UK. So obviously check with your local NUX dealer. You may be able to get them for around that same price. What this basically is a clon circuit. So a clon pedal is a pedal that is very, very desirable these days for many guitar players. The value of original clones has gone through the roof. There's a bunch of great boutique companies out there doing them for around about the £200 mark. You've got companies like Cherrytone with the Centura. You've also got Wampler with the Tumnus and many, many more. NUX have come into the game with the Horseman, which is very, very affordable. Now, this is built really well. It's got a good solid metal casing. The switches feel good. And for all intents and purposes, it sounds like a clon. So if you're looking to get into that clon sound, so if you're a fan of players like John Mayer, where they use the clon as a clean boost, or you want a bit of the clon bite that players like Joe Perry from Aerosmith might use, this is a fantastic way to get that sound easily. Now, the cool thing with this pedal is it has a dual function. So at the top here, we have this thing called silver mode. When we hold the foot switch, it changes from the gold to the silver clon circuit. Now that basically just changes the gain response. So there's some slightly different clipping diodes activated, which gives you a slightly different take on the gain. So this is actually two different types of clon in a single pedal, and it is so affordable. So again, if you want to try the clon sound out without spending big bucks, the NUX Horseman is a great one to check out for your rig. The sixth pedal is actually two pedals in one. This is the NUX Atlantic. Now, this is actually a pedal that I really, really enjoy. This is pretty much at the top of our budget here. So these retail in the UK for about £99. So these are pretty much up at that £100 ceiling. This is a delay and a reverb in one. So if you're someone who is into your more ambient sounds, or you may be looking at something like Strymon, but you can't afford the price tag, this is definitely one to check out. So on the surface, obviously this looks slightly more complicated. We've got the reverb side and the delay side. We've got three different options for each. So on the delay side, we've got 60s, 70s, and 80s delays, and we can tap tempo that and change all the different subdivisions as we go. And then on the reverb side, we've got spring plate and hall mode. And we also have a built-in shimmer mode. So we can hold this foot switch and it goes into some shimmery reverb textures. This is a really cool pedal for the money. It's a great way to just instantly add a bunch of cool different ambient space and sound to your playing. But also, if you just want a really good reverb or basic delay, this is also great. Now, what this does lack is some of the deep tweakability of some of the more intense delay and reverb pedals out there on the market. But if you're just getting into the world of effects, you don't really need that. This has all the basic features you need to get some really cool delay and reverb sounds. And I personally think for the price, this thing sounds great. And also what's even cooler is you can also run this in stereo. So this could be the making of your very first stereo guitar rig. seventh and final pedal we're going to talk about, and this is definitely the most beat up one, is the Blackstar LT Dual. Now this is a two-sided overdrive pedal. Now you can see from the close-up there, this has some stickers on and it's a bit grimy and there's a lot of paint chips out of this because this has been gigged a lot by me. I've used this pedal on most of my pedal boards for the last few years, and it's sort of one of my favorite drive pedals, even though it is quite affordable. These come in at around about the 80 to 90 pound mark in the UK. You can still pick them up for pretty good prices around the second-hand market as well. These, I think, are fantastic. So basically, both sides of this pedal are slightly different takes on the same sort of overdrive circuit. So it's kind of tube screamery. I always think of this as being like a hot-rodded tube screamer. Channel 1, which I have set here with a sticker that says clean drive, is the lower gain of the two sides. So this is more of your typical tube screamer, as it were. And then the side that I've got labeled dirty drive is a slightly higher gain version. So think of that as like a boosted tube screamer. Even though this is a dual-sided drive, it's actually really easy to dial in the tone with because each of the channels just has two controls. So you've got a gain and a volume for channel 1 and a gain and a volume for channel 2. Then the tone control and the ISF control are shared between the two channels. So you basically just set up your two gain stages and then you use this section here to control the overall tone. The ISF is Blackstar's patented feature that goes from all the way in this position, which gives you like an American kind of EQ response. So slightly more scooped mids, right up to this side, which is very British, which is like all the mids. And you can obviously set that in the middle to taste, to kind of blend between the two. This is a really cool two-sided pedal that, like I said, I've used this for many, many gigs for many years. I'm a big fan of this. It's kind of like a hot rod tube screamer. The only drawback with this pedal, if I did have to pick one, is you can't stack the sides. So you can either have one or the other on, but that's not really that much of a big issue because I've always just set them up as separate drive sounds anyway. So I've had like a lower gain drive and a higher gain drive, and that's always got me through every gig I need with this thing. Channel 2 has so much extra gain that you don't really need to stack it to get more gain. You can just push the gain on the second channel. So yeah, as a two-sided overdrive pedal for less than £100, this is one I would highly recommend. It works for so many different genres of music, and it pairs well with pretty much every amp I've ever paired it with as well. there you go. There are 7 of my favorite affordable effects pedals that I recommend you guys check out for your own rigs. If there are any affordable pedals that you think I've missed or anything you think should be included in this list, let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to check out the link to the Music Radar website down below as well, where you can find out more information about each of the pedals that I've talked about. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys think should be included in this list, or what your favorite affordable pedals are as well. If you can keep it under that £100 ceiling, that would be even better. Thank you all so much for watching as always. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. And like I said, let me know down below in the comments what you thought about these pedals, and let me know what your choices would be as well. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon.